Hello, everybody. This is Linda Davitas, owner and founder of healingsOnTheGo.com. I am an author, psychic clairvoyant medium, certified Reiki healer, magnified healer, crystal healer, professional space clearer, dolphin healer, and a whole lot more. To see my services, you can find me at healingsOnTheGo.com. I would like to welcome my special guest, Kendell Bell, to the show. Yay! Welcome, Kendell.
Thank you for having me back again.
Uh, it's awesome. Everyone loves seeing you on. So it's my pleasure to have you on. How are you feeling today?
Feeling good today, just riding out this new moon,
Yeah,
getting things in order internally, you know.
exactly. That's what I want to talk about. The new moon actually hit a big wave, which I posted, and it was all about anxiety. People were texting, like, what's going on? I feel scared. Or there was a lot of emotions coming up, a lot of fear, anxiety, stress. I had a lot of candles. It looked like a church in my house. So we were just clearing it out, and you can feel it. So I
Yeah.
wanted to explain to everyone that fear comes from, it can be the mass consciousness. It can be the things that we're going through. Like a lot of people have fears of the virus. So we're picking up on a whole bunch of things. It could be our own stress where we feel overwhelmed, and it also can be spirit talking through. So there's like a variety of ways that you can absorb energy. And to hear about what I went through spirit downloading information, you can always find my book. This is my book, and you can find it at healingsonthego.com. And it's my journey from darkness to the light. It talks about my experience. I went through over 25 years of severe anxiety, panic attacks, and such, bad stuff. And so have you, Kendell. Tell us about your experience.
It's pretty much been like, my whole life, I was never really taught how to deal with my internal, doings and the things that were going on inside of me. And when you're learning from people who don't really know how to deal with their emotions, it gets worse. So I
Exactly.
feel like, the root of my anxiety comes from an improper way of knowing how to deal with my emotions. And even now, these days, I still get caught up sometimes, but like you
Yes.
said, a lot of the times, when I'm feeling anxiety and I'm feeling things, a lot of the times it's not even me. It's not even
Yes.
my stuff now, these days. And when it is my stuff, it's heavy and it's things that, have been sitting inside of me that may have just been put under the rug for a little while, that are coming up, especially during new moons. And this new moon
Exactly.
in particular, everything has come
Mhm.
up, things that I have suppressed within myself, things that happened when I was a child that I may have forgot of, that need to be dealt with. And I feel
Exactly.
like a lot of my anxieties is due to unresolved turmoil, unresolved
Exactly.
experiences, not really looking at the divine reason of why things happened, and just looking at the lower vibrational reasonings for why they happened. And I realize no matter what, whenever I rise above it and I just look at it from a heightened perspective, it just gets a little bit more easier to deal with. I feel
Yes.
like anxiety is one of these things, it's always going to exist. There isn't a person out here who does not deal with it, but it's just about
Right.
the perspective of it and what we think of it as, because it can be something that can destroy us just to keep us down and keep us, or it can destroy us so we can put ourselves back together and become a higher being. But
Mhm.
but yeah, just this new moon, it really touched a lot of soft spots within me, a lot of things that I needed to address, in the
Yes.
terms of just like lack mentality, victimization, feeling alone, being an outcast, a black sheep, like all sorts of things have they were all coming
Yeah.
because I was going out in public. I'm feeling these things, so like I'm getting anxious while I'm around people, and that's not me. You know what I mean? That's not who I am. But I when I go home, it's like,
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
I got to deal with this stuff because I'm not
Yes.
going to sit here and continue to blame the world for my problems or say that it was this person from the way that they were looking at me, or I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna figure out what's going on inside of me because everything's a reflection. Everything is a reflection of what I feel within myself, no matter how it's seen from others. It's all about me.
Exactly. And a quick hello. I would like to say hello to Ria, Maria, and Cindy, Mickey. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank
Please
you,
like
lady.
and share. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Exactly. It's the mass consciousness, which you're scared because, like, I used to always be scared for no reason. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And I was like, it's the mass consciousness. Also, I was raised in a very haunted house with 5 demonic spirits. So that was another reason. Just walking in there, when you're open to this energy and they're telling you crazy things going through your mind, and you thank God. That's why I wrote a book about it, because people act on it. And thank God I never acted on that. And I figured out later on, you have to read the book of what happened. So it's just like, spirits do download things. And especially when you read on the news or stuff that people killed their children and something told them, yes, that's all real, because spirits are all around us. Whether you see it or not, they're real. Some
Mm-hmm.
people say, I don't believe in spirits. So I said, do you believe in haunted houses? They're like, yeah. So I said, so um, bad spirits only exist, so do the good. Then she's like, oh, okay. So, they just don't see it that way.
Yeah. You
Experience
know,
spirits and stuff. Of course you did. Tell us a
yeah.
story.
And in terms of what spirits,
Yes.
so let me see, a story in a dark way or a light way, because I'm
Whichever
surrounded by
you want.
spirits. I'm surrounded by spirits all the time. My mom's spirit being the number one. And I also know that. So just me personally, when I'm going through things the most, that's when I feel the spirit's presence heavily. And so the other day, I was outside. I was driving, and while I was driving, I just felt something inside of my chest. It was just this heavy amount of weight within my chest, and then all of a sudden, I heard a crow, which in a sense is my mom. But in the area I was in, it was just a very dark area. The area that I was in, it was very dark. It was very dense. It's an area where people worry about COVID. People worry about all sorts of things. It was just in that area. And I realized that I was taking on the weight of that area and everything that was going on the moment that I got over there. But I had my mom with me to guide me through it, to help me realize, you know what, you have to stay grounded, you have to stay footed. Like, you are supposed to uplift this environment. You're not supposed to suck it in. And after that, I pulled over before I got out of my car. I gathered myself, and then I went and I dealt with people. I dealt, with the energies. But like you were saying, because you're pinpointing something that's very important for all of us to understand.
Yes.
We're are subjected to all energies. We're infinite beings, and
Right.
even our partners and the people that we work with, like, you let a person touch you. If they touch you, they can give you whatever anxieties that they have inside of them. I didn't realize this till later on in life.
Right.
Your spouse. If your spouse is always stressed out, your spouse is always antsy and filled with anger. Guess what? That's what you become.
That's
Your
right.
friends, so
Absorb it.
it's a whole array of things. And
Exactly.
in knowing that, we're being guided by good spirits, but we're also being, attacked by bad spirits on top of that. Because
Exactly.
when God chooses you, if God can choose you, then the devil chooses you too. If you're chosen by a spirit of light, you're chosen by a spirit of darkness. But it's all about self and how we manage ourselves. That's why I wanted to
Exactly.
share that story, because it became real to me when I entered that environment. What was
Exactly.
really going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're all spirits. So people's
Right.
thoughts, whatever it is they're laying out there, that's their spirit. On top of that, we're spirits in actual form as well. So
Exactly.
think about it on that level as well.
Exactly. And a quick happy birthday, Mickey. Wishing you all the
Happy
best.
birthday, Mickey.
You're
Hey,
so
man,
sweet.
stay
You're so
young,
sweet,
brother.
man. You're getting younger every year.
Yes, sir. That's the mantra. We don't get old,
Exactly.
we get wise.
Exactly. So our spirit comes through. a spirit living in a body. Of course, when we die, the spirit comes out, and it comes out either through your mouth or through your legs, believe it or not.
Through your legs?
Yes.
I never
Can
heard
you
that.
believe it? Yes,
Can you
that's
explain
right.
that further?
Yes. So it depends. Some people, they open their mouth so that the air comes out. But I've also read that people that don't want to come out that way, they come out through the other way, through the legs, believe it or not. But I believe that's less common, because if you really look at someone and they're dead, they're like, their mouth opens just like air. That's why our body rots, because without the spirit, there is no life in us.
Yeah.
We're all here for a human experience. We're all here to experience different challenges. We're here to experience both the good and the bad. The anxiety just comes with what our gifts are. Like, what we are very gifted, and we pick up stuff. Everybody picks up on some kind of level. It's just all about how you manage it. And do you listen? That's what I say in my book. Are you listening? Do you want to hear what they're telling you? Because it's always your choice at the end.
Yes. And I realize that when we stay in that low vibrational state, that's when we open up our bodies to these entities, to the dark spirits, when we stay down there.
Exactly.
So the best advice that I can give you, the best advice that I've lived through is, it's okay to fall down. It's okay to feel anxiety. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to stay there. It's not okay to stay there and beat yourself up and victimize yourself and stay there, because those are low vibrations. You're just going to take on everything else that comes with that portal. So it's best that you always find the higher perspective of it. And be of that. If you're going to share, what you're going through, make sure that you're sharing it with somebody who's not going to take these things and put you down lower. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's better to just speak to your guides, speak to your angels, talk to yourself, your higher self.
That's right.
Rather than to go and talk to somebody else, because we don't realize that a lot of people around us, they don't know any better, a lot of them, but some of them do. But they use you being down here as a means of putting themselves up here. And we got to be aware of that. We really do. And I'm speaking about this through experience, because there were times where I was really, really low, and I would share these things with people that I thought, were going to help lift me up. But in the end, I realized that it was just like a stepping stool for them. And then they thought that they were better than me. And then they thought and then that made me even worse. So I'm only saying this so you guys know, like, be careful who you share with. Make sure that you deal with your anxieties, you deal with anything that's going on inside of you in a proper way. And sometimes, a lot of the times we're being asked to just go within and figure it out on our own. But if we can't do that, we have to go to the right resources. We can't go to what's familiar to us. We got to go to what's going to help us. And a lot of the times what's going to help us is what's going to tell us the truth.
Exactly. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay tuned for more Linda and Kendell. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. Hi, I am Linda Davitas. I am a psychic, clairvoyant medium, and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsOnTheGo.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back with my guest, Kendell Bell. Yay! So we want to continue talking about fear and what fear does. It keeps you stuck. It paralyzes you. You have no appetite to do anything. And it also clogs your chakras. So that's why we recommend that you do not stay stuck for too long, because eventually what plane you're on is what you're vibrating. And you don't want to attract any gremlins, bad energy, and then you have to come to me so I can cleanse you. So the chakra points are everything in your body is a manifestation of, first comes our thoughts. Everything that's affected, whether it be your throat, your stomach, it's all your body releasing it in different levels. Everything means something. Everything has a purpose, and everything could be healed. The way we made ourselves sick by our worries, we can also heal ourselves.
Yes.
Go ahead,
This is
Kendall.
true. Yes, and our thoughts do create our realities.
Yes,
And it's easier said than done, because it's really hard to get yourself out of this low vibrational state of thinking. It really is.
it is. Yeah, it's not easy.
But like you said, piggybacking off of what you said, if we can destroy ourselves, if we can put sickness into ourselves, and we can put healing into ourselves, we have the power to do so much. Everything that we see has come from our mind or somebody else's mind. And that's how
Exactly.
powerful we are as beings. But, nurturing ourselves, drinking our water, staying away from the toxins, all of these things are key ingredients to us overcoming these things. Getting outside, making sure that we drop and do some push-ups. We have to really get ourselves out of it, or we become crippled. We become crippled to the point where we can't get out of bed. We don't want to pick up the phone. We will not eat food. We don't want to go to work. We don't want to deal with our children. We don't want to deal with people. We lock our doors, and we don't have conversations, and it becomes worrisome to the people that are around you on top of that. So just got to be more aware of, what we're feeding ourselves in the long
Exactly.
run.
A big hello to Allison. Welcome, Allison. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Please do like and share. Thank you so much. I wanted to tell you a funny story. So I used to work with this lady, and she was always on anger levels. She was always cranky for everything. So anyway, she told me, Linda, you're not going to believe what happened. So I was the only one that could make her laugh. So I said, what happened? And she goes, I was going in the train, and out of nowhere, this lady comes to me and punches me in the face. Well, I was like, what? And then I said, I hate to break it to you, but you're always angry, so you're attracted. She goes, that this lady, she just hit her out of nowhere. So I said, I hate to say, but that's what you're attracted. And she's like, what? I go, you did, because you look like angry. So it probably picked up on her. Or she would always get in car accidents. I mean, look, car accidents once in a while, everyone gets one. Doesn't mean you're always angry, but she always had them consistently, and it attracted car accidents. Guess what color her car was? I bet you can guess it.
Black?
What's an angry color?
Was it black?
No, it was red.
It was red. Oh,
Red attracts anger, and she was always in car accidents. So
really?
yes, anger is red, and
So I
those
know
are like,
somebody who
yeah,
was, yeah, I know someone who always got into car accidents, but I never put those two things together.
yes, yes. So it's funny, and she was like, I said you have to clear your vibration. So make a long story short, she ended up getting into Reiki, and she thanked me so much, and she started realizing the pattern. Car accidents, people hitting her in the face, they all negative. So when she uplifted, things got better for her. So that's just an example of how our energy attracts things on a deeper level, more than you know. We're
Hmm.
always surrounded by spirits. And I believe when there's like some kind of, like, people are fighting, I do believe the negative side comes in, and that's when they're like, do something at the heat of the moment, you know what I mean? And catastrophe happens. So I just like to make people aware of it. And also Aquarius, the new moon in Aquarius was all about emotion, trauma, anxiety, bringing up emotions. And a lot of people were experiencing the negative part, unfortunately. It's just the way it was. But there
Mm.
was bringing up things that needed to be released, things that were inside them, and they couldn't shake it off. So I had to do healings, and thank God they helped a lot. But it's just, keeping on that vibration and helping yourself. So that's where my candles come in, and they help guide through different people, different channelings, different guidance. So they're always like very helpful. Thank goodness that I know how to do them. I even do them for myself when I feel overwhelmed. I'm like, time to get a candle.
Beautiful gift. You
Thank
even
you.
taught me how to do that. I've been lighting my own candles as
Good.
well, and just tapping into my powers, because it's very important that we all know that we have the ability to do it. And who's to say that you can if you don't try? You got to
Exactly.
at least try. Everybody can, try to heal yourself, and if you need help, get help.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Exactly.
the mind is very powerful, and right now emotions are running high, low, sideways, like nothing's really consolidated. It's just up and down, like the stock market. It's just, and we got to really just find that center, find that base, like you said.
And through my experience, new moons are more negative to me than full moons.
Oh yeah.
I've seen new moons be way crazier than a full moon. And
Yeah.
people think the opposite, that
It's
full moons are the worst. They're not.
the thing with full moons is I feel the full moon probably, I'd say, about 3 or 4 days before it actually hits. That's when I feel it the most. So it's very intense. So by the time the full moon comes, I'm already calmed down, and I've already got myself grounded, and I've done everything I'm supposed to do, because I understand when I have anxiety inside of me, when I'm feeling these feelings inside of me, is because I need to do some internal work.
Mhm. Exactly. Yes. So that's what anxiety comes in, is looking too much to your future. It's like natural. People worry about the future, but it's always at the moment. And I'll tell you a very nice story that happened to me many years ago. I was at the stores, and I was worried because financially we were very bad. And this man came out of nowhere. He reminded me of Neil Donald Walsh. I don't know if you know about him, but he wrote the book Conversations with God. And he started talking to me, and he said, "Are you okay? I sense, you're not okay." So I was talking to him. He was an older man, like a good friend. I go, I'm going through some stuff. And he was an angel. Look what he told me. He said, "Linda, everything always pans out. I promise you, in 1 year, you're going to be in a totally different situation." And then I was like, "Are you sure?" I go, "It's so bad. You don't know." And then he's like, "I promise." And then he goes to me, "You'll see and you'll remember me." So, of course, my little one was in the stroller. What do you think happened? So she's like, "Oh, she's pointing at something." So I turned around to see like what she was looking at. Then I turned back. He's gone. I swear.
He
He
was
was an
gone.
angel. I was looking through the aisles to the right, to the left. I'm like, where did he go? I felt such an inner peace. Like, God, thank you so much. And I swear he was really an angel. And he came to me at that time, gave me the chills. And I said, wow, I wish I could see him one more time. He was so positive, and just
Yeah.
his presence brought warmth into my heart. Like, everything's going to be okay. And everything always pans out. I'll never forget his words.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
beautiful story.
Thank you. Yeah. So we are, I love when our light workers help people. I know I used to go to a lady that helped me too, but some people, when they think that you're advancing, they shoot you down, and then they start telling you everything you don't want to hear. So it was a lesson, which was in a way a good thing, because I started using my own healings, my own techniques, and it brought out the healing within me. So if she hadn't been like that, I would still continue needing her. And back then, just like a coconut to get from her was like $250 with nothing in it. You know what I mean? It's like, here, I give you a white coconut, cleanse yourself, give me 250. And that was 20 years ago.
Mm.
Imagine now, what is it, 1,000? I don't know.
Yeah, I
So,
heard of that practice. I
yeah,
heard of that practice before.
yeah.
Um,
I
so,
know all about it, but I would never charge someone that much money. Sorry, I cut you off.
no, you didn't cut me off. And I just feel like that defeats the purpose of actually helping a person. Like, it's good to charge. You have to get paid for your
Right,
services, and that's what we have to understand as light
right.
workers. Like, it's okay to take money,
Yes,
but it's not okay to
to
rob.
overdo it.
You just can't do that. Don't leave. If a person has it, fine. But give them the option of giving that to you. That's how I feel about
Yes.
that.
Me too. Yeah, because to me, it's my survival. What I make has to pay my food, my car. You
Yes.
know, I need it because, you know, we all have our bills, but I'm not going to go tell you, okay, for a candle, it's 1,500.
Yeah, that's just that's ridiculous. But you know what?
Yeah,
There's a market for it. There's a market for everything. So, but just be
crazy.
doing
I
that
wouldn't
better
feel
way.
right though.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're an angel and you understand and you
Yeah.
have empathy and you think about others and how what you do affects
Thank
them.
you.
And that's very important.
Thank you, Kendall. You too. You are an angel as well. Your light
Jonathan,
heals everyone.
oh, thank you. Thank you. I listen. I'm a humble being out here just
Yes,
trying to live this human experience, and I just hope to connect with all those who just share this one thing inside of me that I feel is a superpower, and it's just empathy and love and compassion. There's a few things, but they all, are surrounded by one thing. And
exactly.
these shows and being able to speak and being able to talk and being able to share, they're very important for all of us. So yes, my healing is your healing is my healing, and we heal as a collective. So it's a beautiful thing to be a part of this.
Exactly. Yes, and I also want to emphasize people not to be too hard on yourself. Remember, you're doing the best you can, and even getting up and facing another day. You know, it's hard for a lot of people, and it's not easy to like snap into being in a good mood. But little by little, even looking out the window, you're God's creation. You're one in a million, and you're here for a reason. And never give up on your purpose in life, because right when you think that everything's going down, God always brings an angel to you. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. Hi, I am Linda Davitas. I am a psychic clairvoyant medium and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsOnTheGo.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. My guest will be right back, Kendell Bell. I would like to continue on. When we go through certain emotions and certain difficulty, we have to think that the past has not helped us. Our past thinking has not helped us. And so what we want to do is try a different approach to healing. So we want to shift from negative to positive. For instance, if something was not serving you in the highest good of all in one way, you have to change your outlook, your perception, things that you normally would not think of. Hi, Kendell, welcome back.
Guys.
So we're talking about changing our perception, because what happens is we have to change our approach. The way we thought in the past is not helping us, so we have to change it. And that way you can see different, and different things will be open to you. If you keep thinking the way you were thinking and it was making you not feel good, what is God telling you? Change your approach to what you're focusing on. So that also, I recommend a few things. I recommend deep breathing, which really helps when you really feel anxiety. A lot of people feel it in their chest. With me, I used to feel that too. My hands would sweat, a lot of anxiety. So I would take a deep breath. Drinking water also helps a lot. It also helps hydrate yourself so you don't feel dehydrated. And when you're dehydrated, you feel off energetically. Well-balanced meal, right, Kendell?
Yes.
Lots of veggies, eat right. If you eat crappy food, what is your body going to give you? It's going to feel crappy too. So you have to eat a well-balanced meal. It's funny. My doctor used to tell me, she goes, you eat too healthy. Why don't you go have a McDonald's after this? I'm like, she goes, your body needs the good and the bad. She
Is that
goes,
real
it's
life?
okay once in a while, go eat a hamburger. I was like, all right, fine.
And mentally, you got to enjoy it. I read something. It was like you can be on a diet, but if you're gonna go and eat something, it's just about the thoughts that we put into what we're eating. If you're gonna go eat a cheeseburger, like I love this cheeseburger. This cheeseburger is gonna bring me, love for myself, healing. You just talk it up.
Exactly.
Don't beat
And
yourself up.
exactly, it's true. And what would help me a lot, I used to walk around when I was younger with all the fear I was going through in that crazy house. I used to walk with a cup and because I didn't know back then of healing or anything. So what would help me is like chamomile tea, and I used to drink it. Like once I felt off, I was like, and I was always like holding tea, relaxing tea. So
Mm.
teas help a lot too for anxiety, just like to relax a little bit. What helps you a lot when you feel stressed out?
Meditation
Yes.
helps a lot. Listening to vibrations, I need them. I realize more than ever how I function when I don't have them. I need to listen to them. Um, Going out in nature, exercising is my number one. Exercising, and
Yes. Yes.
I was slacking, and now I'm like, all right, no more slacking. Staying on top of my game. But yeah, no, and these are all these little indicators to me when I'm starting to feel things like anxiety, stress, depression. It's because I'm not doing enough of the things that I'm supposed to be doing for myself. And I think that's, pretty much the same for all of us. If we just, step back from the situation or step back from the thought and go and do something that's going to actually replenish our beings, replenish our cells, replenish our minds, we don't even think about what's really going on or what we see from our human eyes. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about what we're doing right now in the present moment. And what we do in the present moment is what's going to dictate what happens in the future. Like you said earlier, we think too much about the future, not
Right, right.
realizing that our future is dictated by our present.
Exactly. That's so true. It's a fact. And face your fear. Don't run from it because it's like a crazy. My twin used to do this to me when I was scared in the house. She's like, it's like something running after you. Look at it. Don't be scared of it. Be brave. So
Yeah.
that's what I teach my daughter too. We have a whole list of affirmations. When she used to be nervous of school, we used to say affirmations like, I am brave. I can do this. I am strong. So even feeling into the word makes you feel like I got this.
Mm.
Yeah, and also changing your approach. You can't think with a cloudy mind. So it's okay to go through that and, feel, you know, not to switch it a bit, but the funny thing is I read that what was it? Avocado is good for a cloudy mind. When sometimes you feel like you can't think? I don't know. It's happened to me. Like your mind is just kind of dazed out or something. I
Yeah.
read that brain fog is avocados, so that's a good thing to eat.
Now you say that, avocados kind of resemble the brain too.
Yes,
So you would see that being a brain food, But yeah, if
exactly.
you think about like the shell of it, it looks like a brain.
Exactly. So does walnuts, and it's good
Yeah.
brain food too.
Walnuts too. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like avocados, but it has to be spicy. I love
Oh
everything
yeah.
spicy. Yeah, I give me avocado, but it gotta be spicy avocado. So I gotta put a little bit of hot sauce or something on it. Sprinkle a little bit of something on
That's
there.
funny. You're like my daughter. Her stomach can't handle it, but she's like, I want spicy. I go, no, no, it's okay. Your belly doesn't want no spicy.
Not today. Not today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, no, go ahead. You were talking.
I'm
I
just
thought
saying,
you finished.
you got to put spice on everything. It actually helps clear me up when I'm eating spicy stuff. So keeps me on top of my game.
Nice. It opens up your nasals, right?
Yes. And when I'm sick, forget about it. All spicy soup, spicy everything. I'm good
Oh,
in
wow.
like 24 hours.
That's beautiful. So I want to say to everyone also remember what you're going through is temporary. Just the way the weather is, it's not going to rain forever and things will get better for you. Have hope. say a prayer. God's always listening. And Jesus, I always prayed to him when I was a little girl. I used to see him everywhere. Jesus Christ. I wrote him in my book when I saw him in physical form, and I was telling my sister about it. But you can again find it healingsOnTheGo.com. And again, this is my book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, remembering my pre-existence, which I do remember before I was born. But everything is temporary. We're all on a journey, and the best thing is what makes you happy. Some people don't agree with what makes you happy, but at the end of it all, it's what makes you happy, because you have to live with yourself. Who cares what people say? Whatever makes you feel good is what's important to you.
Mm-hmm. And we're going through a shedding period right now. We have to understand, like, our New Year's resolution and all that stuff. I never understood why New Year is in January, because nothing grows in January. Nothing grows in February, nothing grows in March, April, May, that's when things start growing. So right now is the time where we're just, we're enriching our soil right now and planting these seeds in enriching soil, and soil that has, something good inside of it, soil that's not tainted, that doesn't have toxins in it, that doesn't have toxic behaviors and pesticides or whatever it is. It's very important that we nurture our soil, and
Exactly.
we don't beat ourselves up, and we do understand that everything that we see is our perspective. No matter what, no matter what it is you're going through, it's all about your perspective of it. And if you can't beat or shake the thoughts, if you can't get out of that mode, just get out of the environment that you're in. Get out, go run, go do something, because you can change it just like that. You're not going to be able to change the whole situation, but you can change the way that you feel with the action.
Exactly. That's a good one. And what works for me is taking a deep breath again and saying, I am safe. Even hugging a tree. Some people find it ridiculous, but it's so true. It really helps.
Oh man, my neighbors thought I was crazy when I first moved into my neighborhood. I was just
That's funny.
I would be sitting just hugging a tree, and I don't care. That's just
Who
me. I do what I
cares?
do. But you know what? You know what's funny is, like, when I come outside though, I see kids doing it. And like, that's what's important to me, is like knowing that the kids got all the answers, and I'm doing something that the kids are doing. That's not hurting me and it's helping me. Then I figured it out. I'm good.
I'll tell you a funny story with the tree. When my little one, she would have a hard time sleeping as a baby, we used to go by the tree. And I
Mhm.
would say, magical tree, can you send me some energy? And I literally would feel it from the bottom shoot up through my legs, like energy wise. And I would always say, thank you, tree, because of course, everything wants to be appreciated. And they say you can't just hug a tree. You know that there are some trees that don't want to be hugged. You could tell by the way they look.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they
They're
always
like,
say, ask permission.
it's true. Trees hold a lot of information. They've lived many lifetimes. They really do, and they're healing it. I think it's amazing the feeling that you get after hugging a tree for a little while. After like 5 minutes, you feel the energy exchange.
Exactly. A big hello to Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you,
Michelle,
everyone, for tuning in. Please do like and share. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. So, trees are magical, and I heard they're record keepers of what I read about them. They
hmm
actually record everything, believe it or not. I know some people are like, what? But it's true. They're record keepers.
yes. And you have to think
Everything.
about how rooted they are into this planet. And they have their whole ecosystem. Like, all these trees that you see, they're all connected, and they keep each other alive, which is amazing. One of the most beautiful things that I saw was, I was in the forest and I saw a tree and it fell, but it didn't fall all the way. And the other trees were holding it up and keeping it alive, and there were bugs and everything inside of it. And even though the tree was dead, it was still alive.
Oh, wow.
It was beautiful,
Oh,
you
wow.
know. And it's like, it died in silence, but the trees around them, it brought it back to life. It was pretty beautiful. It was like poetic, that's what I should say.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had I had one Christmas tree that actually, believe it or not, started blooming.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't want to throw it out. I told my husband, let's spread it in the backyard because
Mm.
it started making buds like spring. And I was like, I felt so bad to throw it out. I didn't want to throw it out, but he did anyways. So I was like, I was so cute. 2024, one, I think it was, but it was such a beautiful tree. It
Mhm.
never happened before, just one time.
Yeah.
So everything speaks in nature, whether it be crows, pigeons, everything has a meaning, and especially when you see it all the time.
Hmm.
I have this lady that always writes to me. She's like, "Oh, I saw 444 or 555." When spirit knows that you're paying attention to the signs, they're going to give you more of that signs. They're going to make you aware that I'm talking through you through numbers. And then I usually look it up. Okay, meaning of 444. Just, you know, if you're doing like so many times when I was doing a candle and then I saw the number for wealth, 888, and it was them saying good manifestation. So everything's talking through you. All you got to do is quiet your mind and listen. And yes, Kendall, you're right. The best thing to do is meditation because your mind is quiet. That's how they can talk when you're ready to listen.
Hmm. And actually listen. And because a lot of the times we just want to be in charge. And I think that was probably the hardest thing for me to accept was I'm not in charge all the time. Yes, I'm in charge of my actions. I'm in charge of me overall, but the plan is not me. I'm not in charge of the plan. I'm just sent here to walk it. I'm sent here to live it. And it's hard and we all get caught up in it. But once we realize who we are and why we're here and the real purpose of our existence, all these things that we're talking about that many others are talking about are going to become a first nature because this was our first nature. This is what we were born with. It was taken from us, and drip, we were told that all of this stuff was voodoo and da 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 da, da, but I don't believe that anymore. And I only don't believe it is because of the experience. And I've lived both sides. I've lived in the darkness, I've lived in the light, and now I'm trying to stay somewhere in between, embracing both of them. You know?
Speaking of voodoo, that's the only reason why I never wanted to tell anyone what I do because right away they think, oh, she's a witch, this and that. But it's not being a witch, it's transferring energy of healing. Now, people, of course, there's the dark side to it where they do it, but I would never, for any amount of money, do any kind of bad to anybody. I had this crazy lady call me up and she's like, I'll give you $5,000. Can you like pray my husband travels to the other side quickly? They go, no. I don't care how much you pay
Yeah,
me. That's
yeah,
not
no,
happening.
that will come back to you. We can't use
No way.
we can't use our powers to harm others, and
No, I never
you know,
did.
and when it comes again, even with our anxieties, when we're stressed out and we're mad at somebody, it's very important that we stop projecting that energy towards them because we don't only hurt them, we hurt ourselves. And sometimes if we got kids, we'll pass it to our kids or pass it to our loved one, man, because your thoughts, they're limitless.
Right.
They're limitless. They can bounce off of anybody and anything. So always check
Yeah.
yourselves. And that's one of I practice this every day. And none of this stuff is going to come overnight. None of this stuff is going to become easy. And we're all going to have these moments where we beat ourselves up. But it's just about not staying there. It's about really figuring out why we're here, filling in those cracks in our foundation with gold, building a little bit more of our foundation up, and building a mansion on top of it next time. If the house burns down, okay, fine. We figured out the flaws. Now we know what we need to do so we can build bigger and better.
Exactly. Only white light in my world. There's no room for darkness. And that doesn't pay to get like bad karma coming to you. There are a lot of people that are money hungry, they'll do anything. To me, there is no reason to do any kind of negative to anyone because, first of all, if they're doing bad stuff to people, God sees everything. So they'll get theirs on their own. You don't need to add to it. I invented the candle for healing. And thank God it's created lots of beautiful miracles, which one day I'm going to finish my second book. And people that want to learn more about candle manifestation channeling, you're free to find it at healingsOnTheGo.com. I have 5-star reviews, almost 50 5-star Google Maps, and I only do good, my dears.
Yes, the best. You really
Thank
are.
you too.
Honestly, your touch, it really helps people. And thank you for having this show, and thank you for always having me on here because honestly,
My
I
pleasure.
wish that I had something information like this a long time ago. And I remember when I first started my journey and I started reading all these different things about chakras and about, the universe and how we're all connected and how all this is an illusion and how, and it blew my mind. And it was like something that I questioned, but I felt that there was some truth in it all. And I just kept on going down the rabbit hole and down the rabbit hole, all the way down to corruption and what we're born into and who, like knowing that there's no new souls. Like all of our babies and everybody that's here, they're all old souls.
Of
And your,
course.
your
Yes.
baby's probably older than you. Understand this, and this is why these kids are learning so fast. This is why these kids are
Oh,
growing so
yeah.
fast. And it just makes sense. And again, not everybody is going to perceive things the way that we perceive things, or the way that you perceive things. But once you start opening yourself up to different information, that's when the universe starts showing you, what's
Yeah.
true, what's not. And we just got to really be ready to let go of whatever does not serve us. If it's not serving us, we got to be ready to let it go. And I promise you, once we let it go, we're going to fall, but there's going to be a nice, fluffy mattress right there.
Exactly.
We're going to get up. And when we get up, we're gonna get up, and then we're gonna be in an unfamiliar place. But pretty soon and very fast, we're gonna be familiar with that place because that place is gonna lead us to ourselves.
It's funny. My daughter tells me, she goes, I'm your mommy. That was like, not in this lifetime.
And this, and she's probably right. And honestly, she probably is right. I see that, and because I was thinking about it, and I have the best connection with kids. It's something about with kids. I don't know. I feel them on a different level, and I do feel like I've known them already. I don't feel like these are just babies. I feel
You're
like
right.
they have a lot of information in them, and just by staring in their eyes or just holding them or just being in their presence, there's an energy exchange, there's information exchange there. They are chosen for a reason. There's a reason why they're here. So
Definitely. They're old souls in little bodies, and you
yes,
can't boss them around no more. Yeah, right.
you can't, and
They're
they're more
strong
powerful than us.
generation.
You got to think about it. These kids from the age of, when they're first born to like 8, 9, like their brains they're in theta wave and it's in a theta state. So they are so programmable, which makes them more powerful than the average adult. They can learn what's going to take us years after we've, grown past, 16, 17, 18. They can learn this in months. You know what I mean? We put
It's
our kids in
funny.
front of rocket science growing up, they're going to be scientists.
Exactly. The funny thing is they all come to Adela and they're like, when you get older, we're gonna go to you, not your mom, because you're gonna know more. That's it. It's okay. You could go. And then she's like, I'm not gonna be doing what my mom is doing.
She's gonna be doing something her thing was gonna be
Exactly.
better and far more advanced, and you're just the foundation. You're the blueprint. She can't run from it. She
She's
can
so
never
good.
run from her purpose. Your purpose is your purpose. She's gonna try to, but
Exactly. She's
no
like, they're
matter what.
forcing me to do what you do. I'm not gonna, that's your way, your path. She didn't say in the exact words, my path, but she means like you're doing your thing. She wants to be a teacher, principal. That's her thing. You can't tell me what to do. But she doesn't say it in a negative, mean way. But she's
Yeah.
like, I like teaching. I go, of course, sweetie. I go, we're all here for different reasons.
Hmm.
You don't have to do what I do.
Well, that's amazing that she knows that already. And who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what teacher's going to be like when she gets older?
Yes.
Maybe she is going to be a teacher, a director, but maybe she's going to, be the director of the school for the gifted, like Professor X or something.
I had this lady. Yeah, she told me she's like she saw her being a teacher and a healer for animals, and she's always loved animals from a little tiny little baby.
Oh, so she's well connected. Animals
Yes,
and babies connected to source the most. And the most
exactly.
powerful connection. Well, that's beautiful. I look forward to seeing what she becomes or what she
Thank you.
allows. A lot of versions of herself.
That's
Because
you.
I look around and I even look at myself and I realize that, especially like when it comes to like addictions and things like that, a lot of the people that I see that are down and out, I feel like we are trying to run away from who we are,
Right.
and we're trying to fit into a world that we were not made to fit into. We're not made to fit into this world. We were made to come here and create our own world. that's it. And the world around you starts to change. And that's a lot of why I see, or why we see a lot of the hurt and the pain and the people that want to commit suicide and all these
Right.
things. It's because we're running from our true identity and we're trying to be somebody that we're not. And it's okay to be that person in survival mode. But once survival mode's over, once it's run its course, we gotta let that version of us go. We gotta let that avatar go. Because it's just like our upgrades with our phone. We can't have our Apple iPhones with, outdated service. We gotta get the upgrades. We have to have a new program. And that's
Right.
just how it is with us, because we're the greatest supercomputer on this planet. We gotta really look at ourselves that way.
We're the volunteers. If you ever read Dolores Cannon, she says there's a group of volunteers which are considered the light workers that have come into Earth to help uplift the vibration and actually help people. A lot of people have told me, you're different. You care about people that come to you and this and that. So people go on TV, they're like, okay, 15 minutes for 800 reading. You know how many people told me that? You charge so little? And I was like, it's okay. I can help more people. But I'm the kind that cares for whoever comes my way, like you do. You have a big open heart. And you with educating the children, which is the future of the planet, of course. So I look forward to your book. Because did you ever finish it or no?
I have everything. See, now you're putting me on a spot now, because now I just gotta release it. See, these levels to growth where you gotta get out of your comfort zone. A lot of my creations, a lot of the things that I've created, I've kept to myself, but I can't do that anymore. So it's
Now you
about that
got to get
time.
it out.
My birthday's coming up. I'm gonna get it out.
Oh,
My birthday's my new year.
that's
I look
beautiful.
at, January, February, that's just getting myself primed up. But March is my new year. That's my official
Yeah.
start of my year, and that's when all of the things that I've been manifesting that I want to come into fruition start to come forth.
That's beautiful. Well, you have a whole group of people that love seeing you on. I see all the comments and loves you. Everyone loves seeing you on.
Oh, love
That's
you
why I
guys.
always
Thank you.
invite you back, of course. And you're my good friend. You're the light as well. We're both light workers.
Can we ever tell the people how we met?
No, you can tell
No,
them.
so it was weird. I was going through this weird time in my life, and it was a transition point. And my mom had just passed away, and I was scrolling, and I scrolled by Linda's picture on Facebook, and I just felt that I needed a friend request her, so I friend requested her. And then I right when I friend requested her, right away we just started talking. She's like, no, no, I started telling her about, what was going on with my mom. And like immediately she gave me a healing, and she, gave me a message from my mom. And like really, like, it was one of those moments where it was like, thank you, thank you. Like my mom was working through it
Ah,
and me at the same time, and it was the only way that she could really get a message across to me that I wasn't hearing from myself. Somebody else was able to give me a message from my mom, and it was beautiful. She was the first person to be able to do that, and
ah,
I'm forever
that's
grateful
beautiful.
for your presence in my life.
Thank you. Me too. You're so sweet. And I remember people messaging me and they're like, Kendell referred you referred them to me. And I was like, three people. I'm like, wow. So I text you. I'm like, I'm going to send you a present. Thank you so much. And then
Yeah,
I did you a candle and it was awesome. And it's good you had your mom's picture because usually when I see certain men, you know how they are. Oh,
yeah,
hello, a dating game. So I was like, oh God, men, I mean, I hate to stereotype, but they
yeah,
always like to flirt. So
yeah,
when you had your mom's picture, I was like, that's so nice because normally I would have seen your face, I would have known you stand out. But some
yeah.
of them, they're just like dating game.
Yeah, no, I would never use social media to pick
I
up
know.
anybody. It's always for divine reasons. And I'm very grateful for your presence in my life, and I thank you for
Thank
always
you.
reaching out and always wanting to have me on your show. And I love your following, your fans. I love the people that are connected to you. You guys are all great. You make me feel at
Uh,
home. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And let the audience know where they can reach you.
You guys can find me at Rare Breed Universe on Facebook. You can find me on Rare Breed Universe on Instagram, and you can also find me at Kendell Bell on Facebook as well.
You're a blessing, Kendall, and you definitely will be back on again. You're a blessing. Thank you so much for all your positive energy. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. Happy birthday again to Mickey. Thank you all.
Happy
And
birthday.
Michelle, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and have a great night. God bless it, each and every one of you.